So, PK, one of my mom's very, very dear friends, we had a conversation 2 days ago, and I just kind of like spitballed ideas off her. So a lot of what I say, PK and my mom have worked on a book. A lot of you know about the book, right? So I've read the book, and a lot of what I say will reference the book. It's kind of weird because it's like mom's Bible, so like, well, mom said this, so it has to be true, you know what I mean? But the other day when PK and I are spitballing ideas, one of the reoccurring themes was how mom would always get upset with how she would have to filter what she would say, put a pretty bow on it at the end. For like in Caring Bridge, for instance, she would always have to end her post with like, "But I'll be better," or "I feel okay, I guess," you know, so that everyone would be like, okay, like reassured, right? So I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Is it okay if I'm absolutely real with you guys when I speak today? Is that okay? If everyone's okay, I'll give that right. Okay. So the first thing I'm gonna say to you, the year of firsts. We're in the year of firsts. The year of first is going to end in like two weeks. The year of first sucks. The year of first is awful. It sucks. Okay? It is terrible. A quick story. New Year's Eve, I decided to come home and surprise my high school friends at Bean's New Year's Eve party. I was super excited, man. I don't get to see my friends a lot because I play basketball, which takes up a majority of the school year. So I get to come home, I get to see my friends, which is awesome. So I also get to surprise Dad and Katie. I didn't tell them that I was coming home. So I'm in the car ride home, and I'm really excited to see my family, to see my friends. And all of a sudden I remember, like, oh my gosh, like, my sister's going to be at this party too. Like, this is like kind of like a rite of passage. Like, we're both going to be at the same party. Like, how cool is that? And then I'm like, wait. If Katie and I leave to go to this party and have a good time, Dad will be left home alone. And Katie and I are like real big wussies about Dad. Like, we always feel so bad for him. Like, he's this cute little old man that we really feel sorry for. But really though, like, I just thought about it and I felt so bad. Like, my dad is going to be alone on New Year's Eve, right? So the year of first, right? They tell you, you know, the holidays are going to be the worst. So yeah, Christmas stinks. Thanksgiving stinks. Her birthday stinks. My birthday stinks. I would have never guessed that New Year's would be bad, right? The ball drop. Like, it's not that big. But then I started thinking, you know, what if Mom and Dad had this really simple routine? You know, they'd stay up till 12. They'd watch the ball drop, light kiss on the lips, and say, "God damn it, we made it another year." And you know what? When you have stage 4 metastatic cancer, making it another year means a hell of a lot. It means a lot. A year is a long time, especially when you're living with something that's killing you. And so this year, I get home and I say, "Dad, are you going to stay up to watch the ball drop?" And of course I have no reason to. And he doesn't. Why would he? He's getting older. He likes to sleep. He goes to bed early. Right? But that sucks. So I got angry and I used my liberty as an American to pull out my phone and get on Twitter. And I said, "Cancer stole my dad's New Year's kiss." Period. Think about it. Cancer stole my dad's New Year's kiss. You never really think, you know, like, who right now is planning their New Year's kiss for this year? If you have a spouse or a significant other, you already know that person's probably going to be it. But for anybody else who doesn't, you don't plan that kiss. But think about if you did have a spouse and you didn't have that kiss anymore. That sucks. The year first sucks. That night sucked. I was upset when the ball dropped. I was not happy. So we had hospice come in, obviously, when Mom was on hospice, and they give you like this therapist that comes and talks to you. And you get this 365-day like free pass. Like, if something's wrong, you can call the hospice people and they'll like send out a therapist to you, which is like a great service. I didn't need it. I don't know why I'm telling you that. It's irrelevant, but I didn't. But I kind of got angry at their ploy because it almost says like, well, on August 17th, day 366 of Mom's passing, you will be in a state of not needing a therapist anymore because you're going to be fine because you've had a year to get through this, right? So we don't have to stand by your side. And I'm like, no, that's BS. That is not true. That is not true at all. Let me tell you something. My marriage is not going to come in the first 360 days after my mom dies and I'm 18. I'm not going to have my first kid in the first 365 days. So what about those days? What if I want a therapist on those days? And I call and they're like, no, you should have had enough time. It doesn't work like that. So my point to you guys is, I'm not okay. A lot of you guys come and ask me, Nick, are you all right? And I put on the proverbial, like, yeah, I mean, like, what are you going to do, right? Like, she's gone and everything. Bull. I'm not okay. This sucks. The year first sucks. And let me tell you something else. Guess what? Day 366, August 17th, is going to suck just as bad. It's going to suck just as bad. And I'm sorry if I sound angry, but you guys said I could be real with you, so I get to be angry, right? Okay, clap it up for me. But it's interesting because that's how our culture functions, right? Mom writes about this in her book. She's like, our culture does not want the sad story. Our culture wants, hey, here's people who like got through it. Here's people who like got cured and everything. They don't want the bad story. They don't want the people who died. They don't want to give all this publicity to something that will make you die. That's morbid. That sucks. And you know what? Like, we don't want to watch TV and be like in a bad mood, right? I want to sit and eat my Cheetos and be in a good mood when I watch TV. I don't want to see commercials about metastasis, right? Wrong. Guess what? This is a reality, okay? So I was angry about that, so I decided to put it in my speech today. So if you haven't gotten anything, which this is what you should have gotten from my first like 15 minutes of speaking here, the year first sucks, and it's going to continue to suck after the year first. So metastasis sucks. And so we need to change kind of like our culture, whereas, you know, be willing to accept things that suck and try to change them. That's what we're trying to do. All right, so I'm stepping off that pedestal, and I'm going to a different one. So my dad did give statistics, but I came up with new statistics this time, so kind of like I'm not stealing his, kind of, but his are still in there a little bit. So my mom is an English teacher, and every time, a lot of you have probably heard this, when she would write her lessons, and her students can vouch for this, she would ask for the so what? What's your point? Why are you saying this? What's the relevance, right? So, for all you guys out there, you knew Mom, so this is a little bit different event, but at other events I speak at, there's people there who have never met her before, probably don't even know me. So like, what is relevant to them? How can I get them to engage in what I'm saying? So I use statistics to do that. So the first one is what Dad said, which is really awesome. So 200, 2,000, 4,000, 575,000, right? 200 is a jetliner, 2,000 is Pearl Harbor, number of deaths. 4,000 is 9/11, 575,500 is cancer deaths per year. Okay, that's a lot of people. That is 144 9/11s per year, one every 2.5 weeks. That's crazy. If we had a 9/11 every 2.5 weeks, as Dad would say, people would be out banging on every door trying to figure out why and how we can fix this. I dug a little deeper because those are the people who died. They're already gone. Like, Mom can't do anything about her cancer now, right? So what about you guys here? You guys aren't dead. So how many people now, right now in the United States, have or have had cancer? The number is 12.5 million, which is 3.5% of the United States population. My dad has on the mirror still, he wrote this thing for Mom because he's a statistician and he's a smart guy. He has this tail, right? And it goes like this. And so think about an axis here. Okay, this is years. And this is something else that I'm blanking on. But yeah, a bell curve. So on the it gets lower at the end, right? And so it's like 10% of people, some small percentage of people live past 5 years with metastasis, right? And he wrote, Lucy, be in the tail, right? Somebody has to be in the 10% at the end of the tail. So why can't it be you, right, Lucy? Like, you could live past 5 years. But it's the same thing with people who have cancer now, right? You guys don't have cancer, but 3.5% of the population does. And that number is not going to go to zero anytime soon. Well, we hope it does, but let's just, for sake of speaking, it doesn't go there anytime soon. Somebody has to be in that 3.5%, right? Right?
Right.
So, Don't sit here and be a stagnant cell, because guess what? You can be in the 3.5%. I know that's scary. I know that sucks, but it's true. It's true. Okay, so going further, how many new people, right? So these people haven't even had cancer or have cancer. They're just right. Who doesn't have or have cancer right now? Right? Okay, that's a great point. You're always on top of everything. Next year, 1.6 million people will be diagnosed with cancer. 1.6, right? That's a low percentage again, but somebody has to be in that 1.6 million people. That's a lot of people if you think about it. If you line up 1.6 million people, you might be Lee Heighton for all you know. And so, if you think about it, in 10 years, that's 16 million people who are going to get diagnosed. What makes you think? Why are you so bold that you think that it won't be you? Because I've been there before. That won't be me. I'm not going to be in that percentage. Bull. Mom probably thought the same thing. So that's my statistics, okay? So, a few days ago, Cousin Annie, raise your hand, lovely woman, yes, Cousin Annie. She and I were having a conversation, and she goes, "You guys did it, like, you should be so happy." And she, like, gets excited like that. And so like, I said to her, like, well, you know, we haven't done it yet. Like, we still have a lot of stuff to iron out for the actual party. But it made me think, and Dad touched on this, in November, a Party for Life was not happening. In December, a Party for Life was not happening. In January, a Party for Life was not happening. And midway through February, a Party for Life was not happening. How many people knew that? How many people just thought, oh, another Party for Life must happen this year because it always happens, right? Nobody thought that. Okay, well, I don't know. Anyways, so this is a big deal. For me, I don't care what the money amount at the end of the day is. This event is a principal event, right? We're here to basically say, we miss Mom. We celebrate her life, but we're not going to stop. That takes a lot to make that decision. So here we are. And I lost my complete train of thought, so I'm going to look at my paper. Oh, yeah. The Lucy Fund, right? The Lucy Fund is separate from Lucy. Okay, Lucy had cancer. The Lucy Fund doesn't yet. We don't know if organizations can get it yet. I don't think so, but it doesn't have cancer right now. It's not dead. And that's why you're sitting here today. And so, with that being said, in Mom's book, she writes about, and this is crazy to me, I didn't know this. A lot of stuff in the book I didn't know, but this particularly, Mom did not want this Lucy Fund to be her legacy. That's not what she wanted her legacy to be. That's crazy to think about. She started this event, and she didn't want it to be her legacy. Her legacy was her book. She says it. It's in print, so it must be true, right? And it's kind of ironic, right? It's not her legacy. It's ours. It's our legacy. It's his legacy. Well, maybe not his. He has a lot of other, like, weird legacies, like trying to break stumps and stuff. Like, I don't know. But it's mine. I'll tell you that. It's mine. And it's his. And it's hers. Okay? And so, I'll end with this. Cancer took from me a lot of things. It took away a good game of cards on a Friday night. It took away good conversation in a car ride home from a basketball game. It took away a really, really genuine hug when I needed it. It took away an awesome laugh. It took away one of my best friends. It took away one of my role models. It took away one of my heroes. And guess what? I'm still here. I'm still here. He's still here. She is still here. He's still here. All of you are still here. And so, if cancer had a body, and if cancer had eyes, I would go up to it and I would look right at it and I'd say, I'm still here. And I guarantee you that if cancer had boots, it would be trembling in them. And that's a fact. I really appreciate you guys paying attention to me. I'm the last person, right?